And we are back with Nathan Grant from MoneyTips, and we are talking all things money, credit card related, and debt. So this person's asking a question that we knew we were going to be answering, and that is, how do you build your credit? This person is saying specifically, how do you rebuild your credit after bankruptcy?
So the same factors that help you build good credit are going to help make those positive improvements, whether you're starting off with really good credit or you're coming from a place of something like bankruptcy. So things like keeping your balances down, paying on time, not applying for too much credit at once, and having like a good credit history over time is going to help you. The problem with bankruptcy, starting from there, is that stuff's going to remain on your credit reports. So it's even more important to get those good things and those good positive payments reported to your credit reports, because that's what's going to show improvement until the stuff does drop off, because it's usually like 7 to 13 years depending on the type of bankruptcy and stuff.
Right, so it does take some time. And really building your credit is just paying bills on time, the everyday bills.
Being responsible, that's the main thing. Paying on time, in full if possible. Those are the best ways, because they're the biggest things. The biggest factors of all the little factors that go into it are things like your payment history and the amount of debt you have.
This person's asking, should you take out a personal loan to pay your credit debt?
So if in the instance we talked about before the break of like a balance transfer consideration, similarly, if you are looking at a loan, focus on the interest. If it can get you a lower interest rate, you don't want to just move the debt around. You want to pay it down. But if it helps you pay it faster because it's got less interest, then it might be something you want to consider.
Okay. This person's saying, I pay my credit card off before the due date. Does that hurt or help my credit score?
It's always good to pay your balance in full every month. You can avoid interest if you're not carrying a balance month to month. It doesn't even matter if your card has the highest interest rate in the world. You're not going to be charged interest. What you might want to do, though, if you have a balance that you're carrying, is focus on any new stuff that you might have put on the balance, paying that off before your payment due date, because there's a little grace period between your statement issue date and your payment due date that no additional interest is going to be accrued on it. So really focus on just paying as early as you can.
All right, and so I want to bring this up. Did you hear him say there's a difference between your statement date and your payment due date? So I had one of these instances where I was like, I'd like to change the date of when my bill is due. And so the first month they changed the statement date, but they didn't change the withdrawal date. And then the second time when I asked, they changed like the payment date, but not the withdrawal date from the bank, yada, yada, yada. It took months. What is your advice on all of that?
Well, definitely contact your issuer, because every issuer has different terms that might apply to moving your due date to try and make it more effective for when you pay. Because if you're paying in the beginning of the month and you have your mortgage payment, your car payment, your phone payment, you might just be paying the minimum, and that's going to take so much longer for you to pay off your debt. But if you can call and find out, hey, they'll actually allow me to move it to this time of the month, then you might be able to put a bigger chunk on it and pay that debt off faster.
All right, this person's saying, how can a college student get a credit card if they don't have any credit history?
A good thing that a lot of people don't know that is available as an option is what's called a secured credit card. And basically it acts like a regular credit card, except you are putting a deposit down, which basically funds the credit limit. You still pay off that limit that you put a deposit on, and you can use the credit card from that deposit. And those payments are going to be reported to the credit bureaus just like a regular traditional credit card. So that's a good way to just use your own money that you have to start building good credit scores. And then once you have some credit and a good credit history, then you might want to apply for your first credit card. And things like retail store credit cards aren't always the best credit cards to go for, but if there's a place you shop every month and they have maybe lower application terms that might give you a better odds of getting approved for the card, it might be worth looking into.
Just to build your credit. Really quickly, if you freeze your account with the credit reporting agencies, does that keep you from having your identity stolen?
It's the best way, because no new accounts can be opened in your name. So if you freeze your accounts, then you don't have to worry about that happening going forward from that date. It doesn't do anything about what happened before that.
That's right. And it still means you can use your credit cards. Just because you freeze your account doesn't mean you can't use your credit cards. All right. Nathan, thank you so much for your time and expertise. Hey, if you missed any of these answers, you can find the full videos posted in the Two Wants to Know section.